Hi guys, welcome back to dinner party. This is Isha.
I'm Ashna.
I'm Khushi.
And I'm Shloka.
Welcome back.
And today we are talking about female
Female
friendships.
A very fundamental part of our lives as girls, as women, sharing it with fellow girls, fellow women
Girl/women.
included, all.
We are also female besties.
I was
in a
just
way.
going to say a podcast that is led by women. We have to
Yeah.
talk about this topic.
Yeah, and I feel like more than being siblings, we are friends first, I would say.
Yeah.
Because just the way we've grown up together, like it's brought us closer rather than pushing us in the opposite direction. And
I think now we're besties. When we
Ah.
were kids, it was a little.
Yeah.
Obviously, you all couldn't share everything with us, but now we are proper besties.
yeah, we've reached that age.
Yeah. That we
Pehle
can
to y'all
share
both
everything.
were besties and then me and Khushi.
We tried to.
You all
be.
just copied us.
That is there. Can't disagree.
Copy paste.
I think my earliest friends, apart from y'all, because I wasn't friends with y'all tabhi, were my boarding school friends. Because you lived with like 30 girls in one
Yeah.
dorm.
Yeah.
So that becomes more like family more than friends. Like more than I saw y'all, I think at that point I was seeing those girls. So they were my very first introduction to female friends. And I think it was the best introduction because I still am friends with a lot of people from school. And even if there was a negative experience or two, it was like the friendship you made there will like last you
A long
forever.
time.
What about the negative experience that you had there?
ऐसा कुछ negative तो नहीं था, but one negative experience that I can remember is there was maybe like a group of girls or like 2-3 girls that just didn't like me for some reason. And on my face, they're like friends with me and very nice to me, but I knew they didn't like me. I don't know for what reason. I was friends with them and I didn't have anything like, any malice towards them. But I remember like new girls coming in 9th standard or something, and one of those girls has gone on to become my best friend now. She's still my best friend from school. But when she had come like newly to the school, I remember these girls telling her that, don't talk to her, like don't be friends with her. She's really bitchy. And at that point you can think also because my face is a little bitchy. So first, like when you are introduced to me, you can actually think that I'm a bitch because I have a resting bitch face and I don't even talk because I'm an introvert and I'm shy, not because I'm being a bitch. But they told her all this and then she didn't listen, and she obviously is my best friend now. So that's how I even came out, like found out, because I was like, I knew these people didn't like me, but then they were just bitching about me for no reason.
I want to disagree with you. You don't have a resting bitch face. I think you have a smiley.
If I'm around people that I know, then I'm smiley. But if I'm sitting
I
aisa,
think
then
from a
I'm...
distance.
Maybe.
Yeah. And because I don't talk, like because I don't initiate something, it can come across as she's arrogant and doesn't want to talk.
Yeah.
I'm just shy.
Fair
Even
enough.
I'm like that.
Yeah.
Resting bitch
Like,
face or ऐसा all the time. Like worried.
Yeah.
Like unapproachable बोलते ना.
हाँ,
वो
थोड़ा
वाला है
लगता है
more than
वैसा.
We come across as thoda
Very
approachable
approachable,
people
yeah.
because we are always talking zyada and
Out there.
out there.
Yeah.
Extroverted.
Extroverted.
But did you all have anything like a negative experience with maybe your earliest friends or college friends or
School.
school? Yeah.
I have to say the most common negative associations with female friendships, there are a few things that I think everybody experiences. One is competition. One is maybe like some sort of insecurity. And I think the other one would be like copying each other. And I think not just like from a one-sided way, I feel like I have felt that with people. Like I can feel that they are feeling that for me. And then I have also felt that for other people. So it goes both ways. It's just the
How you
way
approach
you approach it, I guess.
Yeah.
Because there's sometimes you can't do anything of that situation because it just gets very weird and complicated, especially if you're already friends with the person. So in boarding school, not just boarding school, but different chapters of my life, there have been friends where after a point it gets like I can sense that it's getting competitive for no reason.
Yeah.
Like it's just weird. And I thought that like there's nothing else happening in life, so then let's make this a game type of a thing,
Yeah.
which I didn't really enjoy because when it happens with you, like when you're feeling that energy from the opposite side, it's thoda weird because you can sense that this person has a set of insecurities and then they are projecting those insecurities on you. It might not even be something that you have done in particular, but they are fully like projecting and you don't know how to fix it because it's so random.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, I have also felt that way, and it can be in anything. Like I think in school, it's maybe for a boy not liking
liking
me,
you.
or a boy like giving more attention to this girl, वैसा type का. It's not happened to me, but I have seen this is the main like point of conflict,
Yeah.
especially in school. And I think it goes to college also. I don't know about college, but this is what I noticed more in school.
When you're grown up, I think more so it happens, like the competition part happens if you're in the same field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I feel it as much now because none of my friends are in the
doing
same
what
field
you're
as me,
doing,
and
yeah.
all of us are in different, like
Yeah.
into different things. So it doesn't really come up because when you're in the same field, it's bound to happen. You're bound to feel a little friction, and
Yeah,
but it depends on what you do with it,
Yeah.
like how you react to that competition, and you don't make it ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about school only, in our school, we had this that, you have to become prefects, you have to become captains.
Oh my god.
That whole competition. So when me and my best friend, we wanted to become captains, in the process of becoming the captains, campaigning, we were in different houses. If we were in the same house, again competition there, that who will become. Luckily we were in the different houses, and we were like trying to campaign for each other because we were in different houses. Once we both became captains, we were so happy that best friends are captains together. But then there were competitions against houses. So there, the whole competitive urge, that was the first time I think in my life I felt, ki my best friend, but I don't want her to win, because if she wins, then I am
I
losing.
lose.
So that was the first place when that urge was felt, I would say. But then how we tackled it, we till date are friends. How we tackled it is we just accepted that the competition is existing. She also said that, how did your house get practice space when my house did not? Like we had to book spaces for practice in our school. We had to do all of these things. So we just addressed it that, it is going to get ugly. We are going to fight, but at the end of the day, we are going to come back and just talk about it.
Oh wow.
School ke time pe pata nahi, because I was very scared that I was like, I don't want to lose you as a friend. I had gotten very emotional that, I'm feeling very competitive. Like I want to destroy your house. I'm feeling that way. It's that urge is there in me that, I want to win and I don't want your house to win. She also accepted that she had mutual feelings, and she's like, thank you for starting this conversation, because I
That's
also
a
felt.
lot of maturity for
School
kids.
kids.
I think that was fear more than anything, that, you are my
Yeah.
best friend, I don't want to lose you. So we were just scared about it, and we spoke about it, and that made it better, like addressing the competition.
That's actually
Makes
a
a lot
great
of sense,
idea.
actually.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Coming to female friendships, did you all ever notice this, that when you're not doing that well in life, all your friends are with you, not just female, all your friends are with you. But when you slowly start picking up pace, ek karke, your friends start falling off and they're not with you anymore. Like, I think I have also noticed that, and I have seen my other friends discussing about this, that I don't know what happened, suddenly she stopped talking to me. And then when we like sit and derive that ye kyun hua hai, I think it comes down to, like, is it because I'm like starting to earn better or do better in life or something? So I think my age, maybe that is more prominent. In school and college, you're more focused on working, I mean chilling, going to college, going to the canteen. But I think when you grow up, वो शायद कहीं ना कहीं आता है, like
Even
when
that I think stems from some sort of competition, because even if you're not in the same field, if you're in the same field, then you're comparing successes and the rate, like speed of growth and all of that. If you're not in the same field, also there is some sort of this thing कि oh she's found a boyfriend, I have not, like वैसा सब type of
Yeah.
competition के she's got a promotion, I have
Yeah.
not, like she's
Yeah.
earning in this bracket, I am not, like वैसा type का also happens, which I think is
Very normal.
human. Like
Yeah.
for anybody to feel that way is fine, but to project it on a friendship that's going really well, you have to then thoda introspect also to figure out कि हाँ I'm just bringing it up for, like I can address it to the person also and have a conversation about
Yeah.
it, but unnecessarily like making something bitter when it's not, you have to hold yourself accountable there.
I think addressing always has, in my situation, helped me. Even my friends who are in the same, even in college, we had the same, like we wanted to become fest mein heads.
Yeah.
Everybody was competing against each other. I feel just addressing that, hey, I'm feeling competitive, or hey, I want to become, and you know, you become, I'll be happy later, but first sad that I didn't become.
Yeah.
So I think addressing and having conversations when you're vulnerable with each other, that helps you better. And sometimes you have to be the first person to be vulnerable, because the opposite person will not tell you that they're insecure of you. When you tell them that, you know, hey, I'm feeling this way, then they will also add 2-3 points more that, you know, I have felt. Or they will pretend that, you know, it's okay. But you can see that they also understand that feeling, because somewhere they have felt that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think sometimes when you address, there are high chances that the person will be like, why do you feel like that? No, it's okay.
Yeah.
That because not
Totally.
everybody in today's times is that open about what they
Or that
feel.
honest. Yeah.
That honest. I think with you this happened also because you were kids in school. So you know you all had that innocence in you all ki tujhe bhi lag raha hai, mujhe bhi aisa lag raha hai. I think abhi I don't think a lot of people will say that,
think-
oh yeah, even I felt
Felt
that.
that way.
बड़े होने के बाद थोड़ा ईगो पे आ जाता
आ
है
जाता
हाँ
है
कि मुझे नहीं एडमिट करना ये
मुझे
चीज
बोलना नहीं है बिकॉज
हाँ.
या तो देयर ओनली इन डिनायल की मे बी आई डोंट फील लाइक दिस ऑन द आउटसाइड व्हेन दे नो ऑन द
Yeah.
इनसाइड दैट ओके आई डू फील लाइक दिस
Yeah,
इट्स
yeah,
वेरी
yeah.
डिफिकल्ट टू एडमिट समथिंग और बी वल्नरेबल व्हेन यू आर like at this
Older.
stage
Yes.
maybe in life.
Yeah.
That also depends on how deep is your friendship also. Like if the person really doesn't want to lose you and these feelings are coming in between, then they will talk about it. If they
Yeah.
choose their ego over, you know, the relationship, then they are out.
There's nothing, yeah.
So it depends what your stakes are. Some friends who might not be that important to me, even I will not be, even though I'm honest about how I feel, with them I will not be. Because the stakes are not higher there.
Yeah.
Somewhere if it is higher, then I will tell ki, hey,
You won't try as much
Exactly.
in the opposite direction.
direction.
What is your take on when there are two best friends and there's a boyfriend in the picture?
Between you and your friend.
Between the best friends.
Between
If
the
there's-
best friend. Like there are two best friends and one just starts dating randomly, suddenly. So I'm sure there is बहुत चीज़ें बदल जाती है.
I don't think I've been in a situation where I've been dating and the friend has an issue. I don't think I've had an issue otherwise. Also.
I think one thing that we have to learn is that change is inevitable. Your relationship with someone is never going to be the same as it was in the initial stages compared to when you're growing up with them. Your relationship is always going to change, and that's a very hard pill to swallow. Because you never think that, okay, maybe my best friend is not going to be this close to me 3 years down the line. But maybe they get into a relationship and then your dynamic changes. The amount of time you spend together changes.
Yeah.
Even not like relationship wise, even in college and then once you leave college, the amount of time you spend with a person changes because then you grow up, you have work, you're making plans and you're able to meet only once a month.
Yeah.
एक date निकाल के. तो this dynamic between you all is going to change.
Yeah.
And with a boyfriend, I think early stages में it always happens that you get so into the boyfriend or your relationship that you forget about your friends and hanging out with your friends. Like you'll make more time for your boyfriend as compared to
And I think friends also need to be very understanding
At that
towards this
point.
because
Yeah.
Those are your initial dating phases, but also not like sideline your friend completely and not just call her only when there is a fuck up happening.
Yeah.
हाँ, like problem हो रहा है तो call कर
Call
रहे हैं
कर रहे
सिर्फ.
Yeah.
Like not just calling your friend when you need them is a good point, because usually people tend to do the extreme of both sides. Like if you're in a new relationship, like you might completely go in a this
Yes.
thing of like
Yeah.
not
Love
meeting your
bubble.
friends at all.
Yeah. This has happened with me.
And even I have done that. Yeah.
That
But
when
I feel the pressure of keeping things permanent
Hmm.
is unnecessary, because it's not possible in like different phases of your life. You cannot have the same amount of, like, I can't expect to spend the same amount of time I did with my boarding school friends, because we don't live together anymore. We
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
in a shared space all the time, so I had them at all given times. We were eating food together, staying together, going to class together, so I could speak to them at any given point.
Yeah.
But they are still part of my life, and now we'll speak less frequently, but I know that they're still there.
There.
So
Mhm.
that pressure of this relationship has to be permanent, even like especially for girl friends, because we see na, like, oh, they've been best friends for 30 years and they've been best friends for so many years, now their children are best friends, and like that pressure you don't need to put, because then you will fight for the like stupid things to make it
Hmm.
like stretch
Yeah.
in that sense. Like, you will feel like I have to, like, this person has to choose me over her boyfriend. Like, I have to be important because I was there before this guy came
Yeah.
into the picture. I have to be here. So it has to be communicated both ways that you're there, but I need to make space for other people also in my life.
Yeah.
And that needs to be respected mutually. Like, I will also respect that when you get somebody in your life, and I will give you that space to be with them, and you give me that space,
Hmm.
so that I don't resent you for constantly like nagging me or taunting me कि हाँ अब you've got somebody तो हमारे लिए time नहीं
नहीं
है,
है।
अब ये नहीं है वो, तो I will not resent you कि यार if I speak to her तो वो मुझे taunt करेगी. I'm not going to speak to her for that reason. तो थोड़ा थोड़ा करके वो
Yeah.
drift होता है
Very,
फिर.
very true.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way a long-term friendship also works. Because if I go to see with my boarding school best friend, we've been like friends for 9 years now.
Yeah.
From when we were 9th standard, like kids, to now. But it's long distance friendship also, because she lives somewhere else, I live somewhere else. We have different college best friends, or she has different friends, and it's understood that you're bound to have a life that's completely separate from what we have with each other.
Yeah.
And we don't meet for months and months at a time, but when we meet, it's like no time has passed.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be. Like, if I'm meeting you also after 6 months, I don't want to be like, oh hi, how are you?
Yeah.
I want to go back to being how we were pehle.
Yeah.
So that's the only way a long distance and a long term friendship can
works.
work.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of adult friendships also.
Yeah.
Like I remember me and my best friend, we used to talk every day at 7 o'clock when she used to go to her gym on the way. But with time हमने बात करना धीरे धीरे कम कर दिया. But that didn't change any dynamic between us. Like even today when we meet, we meet for 3-4 hours because we only meet once a month.
Hmm.
So because we have to catch up so much, so we talk like for 3 to 4 hours. But I don't remember the last time I had a call with her. But that doesn't change anything between
Anything.
us.
Yeah. As you grow older, you realize that low maintenance friendships work really well.
Yeah.
I have always been low maintenance. Like, even from school till now, all like I've just enjoyed that, because anyway I'm not itna outgoing ke every day plan this that. By nature I'm thoda वैसा. So then in the long term, if I look back, those friendships have only worked for me. Like, that are low maintenance, that
Yeah.
understand me, that don't need like reassurance from me. I don't need reassurance from them that we are friends now, we are still friends now, like checking in every time, like, you're still friends with me, right? You still like me, right? Like, that we don't need, because we just get each other
Yeah.
and we don't judge each other. Like, I think a very fundamental thing for me in friendships is that you don't judge the other person, and loyalty. Like, those two things I think are very important in a friendship, in terms of that you can have this comfortable space that I can go and share everything with this person and not be judged. I think I feel that a lot with you guys. That's why
Yeah.
we have that thing also, where I will not think even once before saying anything, because I won't have to explain it. Like, I won't have to explain my intention to you guys mainly. Like, you all will not question it. So that's I think a very important aspect, that you don't, because when you feel judged, then you automatically feel like this person
Yeah.
just doesn't know who I am then.
I think female friendships need to be therapeutic. Like when you sit with them and talk, there is no fear of judgment, no fear. And there is one thing also, that they agree to everything you say.
Yeah.
Like, of course, there are people who will tell you, like I have friends who will tell me you're
Put the
wrong
mirror,
also,
yeah.
but most of the
Yeah.
times I'm right, so they will also tell me I'm right. So
Right.
yeah, there is no logic to the situation. There is like, Are, you know what, I think Isha, you did the right thing.
It's Delulu.
So it's Delulu, and it's validation that we need.
Yeah.
Like if you go and cry to a male bestie, I think he'll give you logic. पर
Just
तूने
point
गलत
it
किया
out.
यार, or something
Yeah.
like that.
Very true.
है
I
ना?
have one guy best friend, one female best friend, and whenever I want to make a bad decision, the only person I'll call is my female best friend, because I know she will tell me if I'm
Support
doing
it.
something wrong. I would want someone to be like on my face and tell me that
Yeah.
you're like doing something wrong, but I also know that she'll let me do what I want to do. Like she'll tell me, okay, do it. Like I just want that permission from
Yeah,
that
yeah.
validation from my best friend, which I'll get. And my most therapeutic nights have been recently when like we're a big group of girls and guys, but my most therapeutic nights have been when we're doing girls' night and we're all just sitting at someone's house and talking and
Yeah.
just doing time pass gossip for 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you feel better after that one night.
Yeah, you actually feel better after a girl's session, I feel.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
you
yeah,
just
yeah.
blabber so much, you let out so many things, and that person agrees to you.
Agrees to everything you
Yeah.
say.
Imagine your friends like, नहीं but मुझे लगता है ऐसा नहीं था. So you'll stop telling only, like तू हर चीज में मेरे को गलत बोल.
I think women sense that, na, that ki when we want to be told and when we
When
don't want to be
agreed
told,
with and
Yeah.
when not.
When you
Women
just
sense
want to
that.
be listened.
Yeah.
In some situations when I'm really wrong and I'm just telling my friends, I can see in their eyes somewhere that they are
they want to
thinking,
correct.
kya ho gaya? But they're like, I hear you and I understand what you're saying. I understand where you're coming from. Later on, they will come to the point, but I think that, you could have approached the situation this way. But I think women have that patience. Men will just be like, aisa to nahi bolna chahiye tha, yaar. Like, they will tell it to you
yeah.
on your face and they will not see that is it the right time or the wrong time for you.
Yeah.
They will just like logic over everything.
It's a good balance, I think,
Yeah.
Having both.
Both the
type of
sides.
friends, because they give you what the situation
is.
needs.
I think I read this on Instagram. It said that like female friendships are just two females sitting together saying exactly
Oh
to
my
each
god,
other.
I sent this to my best friend.
Yeah, saying exactly.
It's two emotionally intelligent queens saying exactly to each other for
Everything.
2 hours.
Like I am saying exactly.
I know. Oh god.
So there are a lot of positives to a female friendship.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are more positives than negatives.
Yeah, they'll outweigh.
But yeah, there are other things as well. I think, like Shloka said, that approaching the situation, talking to them might change things. And if that person also wants you equally that much in your life, and even they will put an effort.
Yeah.
And I think every relationship requires effort. Be it friendships, be it any relationship, it does require effort. Like you just leave the friend and not talk to them thinking that arey theek ho hi jayega. I think once in a while checking in also does make a difference. You feel good.
Yeah. When y'all were discussing about the love bubble thing, it just came back to me from what she said. This has happened with me that when I started dating, I went into a love bubble. I was very friends when say conversation everyday basis pe na kam hota tha. Because I have these two best friends jinke sath I talk every day. That started reducing. So they were not taunting me about it, but somewhere I could sense that in their behavior that, they are feeling like I'm not approaching. And I approached them only when I had certain doubt or something in my relationship. Only when, as you said, jab problem hai tab yaad kiya. That time they address that, ऐसा लग रहा है कि जब problem है तभी तू आ रही है. जब everything is very fine, that time you're not talking to us. एक कुछ problem आता है, एक झगड़ा होता है, to solve that you come to us. So yeah,
suggestions.
that's when I realized that, even like your friends will not just exist in the background. There is a little effort, not as much as your relationship needs, of course, but there is a little effort that you have to give your friendship. And you can't like completely go from here to here. Like extremes mein you can't operate.
Yeah. What is your take on girls? Like, what do you all think? Does this even exist? Or what is your take?
I think it exists. It doesn't even have to be in just friends. It's like how you see random videos on Instagram where I just saw one, I think today, that's why it's stuck in my head, where a girl is doing her fit check on the road, and then another girl is just passing by, and then she'll like give you a compliment or something, and then she also starts, like, they randomly become friends and they're doing this fit check together. Like, they didn't know each other 2 minutes ago. It can be like random people also, and it can be obviously with your friends, so it should be
Yeah.
only.
Yeah.
But I थोड़ा बहुत तो है ही मतलब
Hmm.
we'd all
I
like
think
to be a girl's
To
girl.
rephrase her question, what according to you makes
A girl's
girl's
girl.
girl.
I think she
Huh.
meant that only.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I meant
Yeah.
that, but yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Huh.
So what according to you makes a girl's
Girl's
girl?
girl. Like this woman on the road makes a girl's girl for you.
I think in their situation, if we go to see, it was just randomly complimenting someone or knowing that, if I say something to her, maybe that'll make her day better
Yeah.
or something like that.
Or
Or just being supportive
Yeah.
or this in any
Yeah.
capacity that you can be.
Yeah. In my case, I think I was a girl's girl. At least
Was matlab?
Matlab, I still
I do
am.
not know.
But yeah, I'm coming to that.
I'm
like
on the fence.
I'm coming to that. So I earlier I used to be very very invested in my friends' lives. Like their problems are my problems, their family problems are my problems, their boyfriend problems are my problems, and we used to like talk hours and hours. How will we sort it and everything? And I don't know. It's inside me that I get too much into my friends or even boyfriends also, but even friends of course. But I'm like, अरे ऐसा हुआ तो तू ऐसे कर. And then she's also like, okay. And it's not just with one friend, all my girlfriends. Like, and even they will call me because they know that she will give. And ऐसे time पर I also give honest opinions. But डुलुलु opinion नहीं देती मैं. So I understood that. And then I got so invested that I started getting dreams also कभी इन लोग के
अरे.
ऊपर. हाँ, कि ना, and then I also kept checking up on them that, hey, are you okay, and that and this. And then later on I realized that you also need to draw boundaries, because sometimes when you get so much into their life, they might not like it as much, because you might take offense for so many things. Maybe they have gotten over it also.
This happens. Sometimes you're very like if they're sharing their problems with their boyfriend, you will get very affected by it कि ओ उसने ऐसा कैसे किया, and then you'll give them a solution कि नहीं you, and then somehow they will figure it out and be okay,
and you become the villain.
then when
Yes.
you ask about it or you're like, oh, but, and then when they'll share something normal also, you'll be like, nahi, but this is wrong and all. They'll be like,
Yeah.
nahi, na, don't interfere and all.
Yeah.
When they brought you into the situation also.
Yeah, and I am viewing the situation from that lens, what my friend shared it with me that
Yeah.
day. But now everything is fine, and now when she's sharing something, I'm like, but aisa to nahi tha na. And then I realized that I think I need to draw my boundary. It's her life, it's her
Yeah.
love life. I love her, and whatever she loves, I should love. This
I
is
think
what
people should draw boundaries both ways. Like on the receiving end also, like, bus, I'm getting involved itna hi in
Yeah.
your situations. You are only feeding all of these thoughts into your friend's
Person's
head.
head.
So they will be protective of you.
Protective, yeah.
They will want to, support you and like warn you in advance कि अच्छा, see, I feel like it'll be यहाँ पे it'll go wrong वैसा. But then you don't want to accept that also when your friend is
yeah.
warning you.
Yeah.
So don't get your friend involved
In
by
that.
sharing too many details about your relationship. When you need advice and all, ठीक है. But if you're going to share every characteristic and every trait and this and that, then your friend is bound to protect you. Like, I see this as a red flag, so
yeah.
बच के रहना
This
वैसा
is
type
very
का.
true. You should
So
not
it
give
has to
somebody
be,
itna.
So you shouldn't allow your friends also to be itna heavily invested, and then on the other side, as a friend also, you shouldn't
Yeah.
get itna involved, because
Yeah.
we all know, like, commonly this happens that when you get too involved, then you become the bad person also a lot of the times,
Yeah.
because then maybe the couple will sort it out and then you're left like,
Plus,
Or-
as she mentioned about the side thing also, na, that you just know your friend's side.
हाँ,
You don't know what the other person is doing. And later when it's resolved between them, you are here thinking, but he was not doing this.
Yeah.
But you also have to think to yourself that your friend ne jo version feed
का
kiya hai,
narrative. हाँ.
that you know. That's why to get into your friends ka relationship problems until it's really necessary is a bad idea.
Yeah.
And even if you know both sides, you somehow
Yeah.
always tend to be a little more
Biased
biased
towards your
towards
friend.
your friend, because you feel protective and you feel more
Yeah.
love towards that person.
Yeah.
So like, even if you're wrong, you're my person, so I will take your
Take
side.
your
your
side.
side,
Exactly.
So yeah, this one quality can make you a girl's girl, is being very protective about your friends. But yes, draw a boundary.
Yeah.
Like I have learnt it the hard way.
Yeah. Fair.
I think another thing that makes you a girl's girl is being supportive without any sort of hidden secret.
Agenda.
Yeah, like you're not
Hmm.
supporting them for the sake of, like, on the face.
Huh.
You're actually meaning it. That's what actually makes you a girl's girl, and that can very easily be felt because vibes don't lie. So you can tell that this person is genuinely happy for me. They're genuinely like celebrating my victories also, and they're not just doing it for the sake of it. And then पीछे जाके they're like ये कैसे हो रहा है इसके साथ, and being like secretly jealous or
Huh.
hoping for you to fail secretly, but on the face they're like, yay,
Yay.
happy for you, and like that
Yeah.
sort of energy you can pick on. So a very clear supporter is
A girl's girl.
And
girl.
very nice point. And what she said, you feel it. Like कहते हैं ना, vibes don't lie.
Yeah.
Even if the person is doing it, you will feel it that there is something off.
Yeah,
वो
because-
तुमको समझ जाएगा.
I think a girl's girl is also a person who gives you the same kind of same amount of information that you are also sharing. It's like you are sharing every tiny bit and detail of your life with that person, and on the other hand, they are not giving you that much information. They are just receiving. Some
Yeah.
people are secretive, they are not that open with their friend, but when you know that they are your best friend and you are not getting itna insight into their life, and it's only happening vice versa, they are just
Yeah.
listening. So that is a little scary space, and I feel a girl's girl is a person who will also give you that thing in return.
This has happened to me because I felt like chalo theek hai, maybe she'll take time to open up and all, so I'll still share. And I kept sharing like details of my life and problems I'm facing,
Yeah.
or whatever, like all of this, which I felt like is like a bonding thing between us, you know, it'll bring us closer and all of that. But you can't be close to someone if you don't know anything about
Anything
them,
about them.
and if they're not sharing anything with you. So there is a wall which you're trying to jump and see, and on the other side, and try and throw like flowers and rocks and everything you're trying to throw that side, but us side, so there's nothing
Nothing coming.
coming only. So in the long run that will not work, because after a while you will feel like this person knows everything about me, but I know nothing about them. So being in a one-sided friendship is very similar to like a one-sided relationship. Like you're very into the person, and you know you're sharing stuff and all of that, but you're not getting anything in return, which
Yeah.
seems kind of pointless only at the end of it, because you're not getting closer to that person. Or it's weird when you're like finding out stuff about their life from other people,
Oh,
and
that
then it's like, why am I even sharing things with you when I'm not going to get anything in return? And it's very weird when you find it out from other people, because it's like, oh, and then they're like, you don't know this about your friend, and I'm like, no. It's very awkward. So I feel like that's also a very weird this thing which you mentioned, that when you don't.
It's a very calculative, like you can feel the calculation going on from the other end. The like they are feeling threatened and they're acting on it. They are not just feeling it. Like you can,
Yeah.
when you feel that, then the friendship is off.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes what happens with me is that it's kind of about getting your friends' love language also, in a sense. I don't know if that's the right word. Because I am a very not private person with my friends, but like I don't volunteer a lot of information unless I'm asked. Like I'll tell you everything, but sometimes you have to like get it out of me. In any situation, whether it's with like a boy or with my family or with anything. If I'm having a problem, I don't go and tell my problems to everyone. Like I'll keep it to myself. But if my friends then like poke me a little bit and ask me, then I'll like spill my guts. So sometimes it can be that your friend is a little just, you know, private in that sense, and you have to get it
Literally
out.
Pester.
Yeah,
things.
like thoda it's about understanding what your friend needs. If they need that, then well and good. If they're just not sharing, then maybe it's something to
else.
be concerned
Yeah.
about.
That's even the intention with which you go, right? Like everybody
agreed.
knows that about you. Your friends know that about you, that she's just private.
Yeah.
But sometimes them not sharing, like how she said, because they don't want you to know it in specific.
That
Yeah.
is
Because if they're
different.
asking
Yeah.
you and then just shutting up after you answer, then it's like you're just asking to get everything out of me, but not sharing it.
The same.
Yeah. Then it feels like there's some
Something
motive
off.
behind it, or something is off, and it's not coming from a, I want to help you, like lighten your burden, lighten your
Yeah.
correct.
like वैसा.
Correct. Yeah.
Doesn't come off in that sense.
Fair.
Is there any deal breaker in a friendship, like in a female friendship specifically?
I think when you can feel like jealousy in the friendship, like unnecessary competition, and healthy competition is well and good in its place, it's bound to happen, but jealousy for like maybe superficial things, or jealousy in that sense ki you feel like you can't, like how will you get back from that, how will you share with that person without feeling like, oh, they're keeping all these things in their head for like to use against me. Like I feel like you can't move past that.
Yeah.
I think jealousy is a big this
Big
thing
one.
because we've also done an episode on insecurities and comparison. So if anybody wants to listen to that, you can go back and find that episode because we've covered a lot of stuff from that and how it stems and how to
Yeah.
deal with it, etc. But one of the main reasons like competition or jealousy happens also is because you are insecure about certain things and you're projecting on your friend. So if you understand or you pick on it early on that you're projecting, you can maybe go in
Work on
and
it.
fix it rather than like letting it like go out of hand and then a good friendship like just going
Yeah.
down the drain.
Correct. You have to like work inwards when you realize that this is not the person's problem here.
Yeah.
I am jealous of my friend, but at the same time, she is not doing anything here. It is my
It is my insecurity.
insecurity.
Yeah.
I think deal breakers in a friendship for me are loyalty and like I mentioned earlier, being judgmental, and like these are two like fundamental things for me to feel like I'm in a safe space. And I think loyalty not in the sense of like my best friend is only my best friend.
Yeah.
I feel like we are very like grown up and mature to understand being loyal to a friend is just in the broad sense, like not in the itty bitty like school kids wala sense ke my best friend will only sit with me and talk to me and all of that, but you just are loyal to your friend in the sense of having mutual respect and admiration for each other, to not like speak ill behind their back and be mature enough to like speak to their face, or standing up for your friend when they're not in the room.
Yeah.
I think is very important. It's very easy to get swayed with somebody making fun of your friend and getting involved
Very
and
true.
thinking that it's just light humor, but you might be hurting your friend because you're getting in on the jokes without realizing if you know your friend is okay with it or not. Like everybody group mein like aise time pass and all is understood, like you also know if you're having a good time and all, but a lot of people hide like insults and jokes, like try and like slip in a small jab in a joke and like be like are
And then if you say anything about it, it's like, "Arey, main
and
to
then if
joke
you're
hi kar
getting
raha tha."
offended over it, then it's like you're stupid to get offended over it. So I feel like loyalty in that sense is very,
Very
important,
important.
just to be there for your friend and like stand up for your friend when
Yeah.
they're not there.
That is actually a very good point.
Yeah.
That you need people who are, there for you whenever you're not present
In your
also.
absence.
Yeah.
I think for me, it is not reciprocating my effort at all. Because I am someone who does take effort. Because I have ginchun ke only 4 or 3 friends. So I make sure that I put some effort to
Yeah.
be there for them and everything, but there is no reciprocation. At that time I feel like really let down, and I still will put effort, but there will be a time where I will also want to take a back seat, and I'm like, now let's see what happens.
I think we've had a conversation about this.
That
And we had a conversation about this. And I think the only friction I've also felt in a friendship is when I felt like when you had a low time, I was putting in like a lot of effort.
Yeah.
And then when the same thing happened to me, I didn't feel the same like
Yeah.
effort or love or whatever. And that translated to me just drawing a boundary that, ठीक है, maybe I shouldn't expect so much also out of a person just because I'm doing it. Like I can do it out of my own because I want to do it, and then maybe not expect because the only thing those expectations are doing is letting me down. So one thing that in general only in life is I go into something with low expectations now.
Yeah.
Because anytime I've had very big expectations, it's let me down.
Yeah.
And then I've had to draw a boundary at some point ki, okay, maybe it's Maybe you only do it and then don't.
Yeah. And then we also discussed about this, that most of the things sometimes it's only that we are thinking in our head.
Yeah.
Like, वो एक कमरे में बैठकर when we like think and overthink and think and overthink, problems
Make
that are
khichdi in your head.
yeah,
Yeah.
problems that are not there in the first place also start appearing.
Appearing.
So I think coming back to Shloka's point is confess, talk to your friends, तो मालूम पड़ेगा यार ऐसा कुछ था ही नहीं, मैं ही कुछ सोच रही थी and तुम ही कुछ, maybe that is the reason. Or when you confess, you'll actually know that acha, she felt bad for this, I felt bad for this, and like
And
sort
then
it
work on that. Like try to be better than you were before.
Yeah.
And take accountability.
Yeah. For this point of view, I feel a lot of empathy for both of them, because we exactly know why they are not people who, talk about everything they feel. They are not people who are going to word everything how they feel. And for aise people, it is even more difficult to have such difficult conversations with your friends. And, when you mean no harm, when there is nothing, but at the same time, you can't word everything you feel. I have naturally always grown up and I've had that space where, my words have been entertained. But for everyone to have those conversations is not the
easy,
easiest thing. And that time, sometimes not having those conversations just messes relationships. And, it's just a sad situation. And on both the ends, I hope people just understand about it instead of thinking, why this one didn't speak about it or why she did not speak. That was so difficult for the person to speak about the particular thing.
Also, sometimes overlooking things work. They have worked in my favor. Like everything doesn't need to be, like pointed and said that ऐसा तूने उस दिन क्यों किया. Just like a relationship.
Yeah.
Some things have to be overlooked. So I do overlook a lot of things and I let it go. I'm like, one life I have, 3 friends I have. अभी इनसे भी क्या झगड़ूं?
उसमें भी गए तो अभी
उसमें
2
भी
बजे
गए तो मैं I don't want to sit in my room alone. I want these people. तो overlook कर दो, it's okay. Everybody, even they might overlook a lot of things that I might be projecting maybe. मेरे को नहीं पता I'm doing it, but maybe उनको आ रहा होगा मेरे से. So it's both the ways.
I think even I overlook a lot, and then when it gets too much, then I feel
Leave
like
it.
बस हो गया अब.
Yeah.
If you're overlooking all the time and nothing's changing, then there's no scope. If you understand, reflect on your mistakes and they also do the
Because
same,
there are a lot of
then
unaware people, like unaware about themselves and their surroundings, and if you're overlooking, they just think that there's कुछ हो नहीं रहा है, हाँ, वैसा. So you can't always be
बैलेंस होना चाहिए एड्रेसिंग एंड ओवरलुकिंग के बीच में.
But it's so foreign to us. I think all of us are very aware of other people ka emotions at least. Like when you are in friendships and all, you understand when a person is not that happy with you. You understand, you pick the vibe. It feels very foreign to me when people don't understand at all that, there has something happened and this is the vibe I'm getting. Yeah. Okay, so what according to y'all is the difference between a female-female friendship and a male-male friendship? Shoot, come on. Any funny
I
observations?
think there is a lot of emotions involved when a female-female friendship is there. For male-male also there are emotions involved, but they are not so heightened. And I feel like they are a little low on expectations, whereas we might have higher expectations. They are more chill. And I've also noticed like people around me, like if they have a conflict also, they are not so in their head about it in terms of addressing it, and they are not so like sometimes if we have a conflict, we'll think also so much before addressing and then address it also, and then there'll be tension also afterwards, and it'll take time to get
a lot
back
of overthinking on this
to
side.
normal. For them it'll be like आज problem हुआ, कल address हो जाएगा और रात को
हम बैठ के
पिएंगे.
Like, and then they forget, like they don't hold that thing in their head at all.
They are very Labrador energy in that sense. Like they are very
grudges
like
नहीं होते उनको.
Unless it's a big issue obviously, but the small little things, like I feel sometimes we make a big deal out of stuff.
True.
Like उसने ऐसे क्यों बात किया, like did you know, and we'll tell this to a guy friend and they'll be like क्या कैसे बात किया, like they will not even notice it or pick on it, but we'll be like nahi, and we might be right also sometimes, and we might like over analyze things also sometimes, like why did she speak in this tone, like did you see so much attitude jabki the girl might be normal and the guy will also be like wo to normal lagi mujhe matlab waisa, like we tend to stretch things a
We
little.
come from a lot of emotion and empathy and everything,
Yeah.
and thoda kabhi zyada हो जाता है हमारा.
ओवर हो जाता
Not knowing these things, इसलिए they are so blissful ना, because उनको इतना empathy, इतना ये
Yeah.
नहीं आ रहा है, that's why they are just
Yeah.
happy about it.
है. Yeah.
One thing I enjoy is not reading too much into things. I'm like, if there is a problem, then bata do. Otherwise, it is unnecessary. Like, I feel like my anxiety also I'm increasing if I'm reading into things too much. Like, is it this way? Because like she said, na, we don't come out and say things. हम मन में ही बहुत
Yeah.
सोचते रहते हैं when there might not be anything. We might just build things in our head. So I've tried to like teach myself to not read into things too much. If there is a evident like problem, then somebody will address it in the room. Like if there is, and if there is something, then we should address it. वैसा. If you feel like it's
I have one observation. It was a very funny example. I had a male friend and a female best friend, and मैंने दोनों को जाके पूछा मैं मोटी लग रही हूँ क्या? This was in college. So the male friend is like अब मोटी है तो लगेगी. And the female is like are you mad issue? Like you're looking so pretty. And उसी दिन मुझे समझ गया था मुझे किसके पास जाना है.
You have to pick your person.
Yeah, one
Yeah,
is
that's what I was saying. When I want logic, I'll go to someone. When I want someone to validate me,
Yeah.
I'll go to someone. And it's just the beauty of friendship.
yeah,
over time you learn who to go for what
what.
answer
Yeah.
that you want.
yeah.
Very true.
I think to conclude, like we've spoken a lot in depth, but I feel like the valuable part, because we are four sisters and we are friends also, what I value a lot is the codependency of our relationship. Like we can depend on each other for advice, for just sulking, random rant, like if we want to just bitch about somebody, all of those aspects are open
Yeah.
in this space, and that's what I value a lot about having women around me,
Yeah.
because they just understand it and there's no pressure into explaining every small thing. So I feel like you get a lot of support. You have people around you to empower you, to hold you accountable, to like just
Not judge you at all.
yeah. That's I think that's the beauty of female friendships. We've spoken a lot about the negative parts also about it, but there is a lot of
Lot of beauty to it.
positives also. The one thing that I notice a lot, especially on social media, because we all have public accounts, we all are like on YouTube, on Instagram, whatever, the most amount of hate if I've gotten, it sadly is from women.
Yeah.
And it's I wouldn't say it's unnecessary. It's not coming from an unnecessary place. A lot of times it feels like there's a motive to bring someone down, and it's very sad when you can be so many good things,
Yeah.
but consciously making the choice to make someone feel bad with your words, or pull someone down and make sure that they are miserable, I think takes a lot of energy. And it's not like you're casually just like closed eyes mein typing things. So I feel like you can use that same energy into something better, because I've seen it on this podcast also, I've seen it on our personal channels also. Like a lot of hate comes
Only from women.
From
Yeah, I think we've
women.
all noticed it, and you could use that energy into something
something
Yes.
better.
better, which
It's
is just
better.
sad that you're
Yeah.
doing that.
That is a projection of insecurity only, na? Like whatever I think these people are insecure about, they're just projecting onto you because
Yeah.
according to them, somewhere subconsciously you're doing well. I feel it's always that. The bigger you get, the more such people are going to come and project their insecurities onto you because they feel they have the space to. They can do whatever they want.
I mean,
when
it
you're-
shouldn't say
When you're someone outwardly confident and you look like you've got it all together and you're
Yeah.
living the life, then it's just like they're like, okay, maybe let me just take you down a notch. Let me make you feel like everything's not.
yeah.
These people don't understand that life itself is going to humble you someday. Like, even if they think you are some taupe, life is going to humble us someday. You don't have to come and, like,
Yeah.
take that charge in your hands and do it.
That I do for myself only
Haan,
multiple
life
times in
will
the day.
humble
You
you.
don't need to do it for me.
Or
Yeah.
we are there. A lot of people near you are only going to humble you. You're going to lose people if you are flying somewhere in the air,
Yeah.
or it's going to happen for you some way or the other. People don't need to come and do it who don't even.
No, you really.
Yeah.
Yeah, because not just us, like even take any celebrities Instagram account also,
Yeah.
you will see so much hate from
Females.
women, and specifically about their body, their skin, how their botox is looking, how their makeup is looking, how much weight they've put on. All of this is pointed out by women, as if we are not experiencing it ourselves, as if we are not
don't know.
insecure about the same things, and we're making other people
People
also
feel this
insecure,
way.
because it's like I am also sinking, so you also should sync with me. Like, how can you be confident about it?
Yeah.
So
There was a recording that I recently watched. I was discussing about this with Paki. Julia Roberts, I think I shared it with you all. Or no, I don't know. Julia Roberts did this interview or something where she addressed this, that she's aging, right? Like, she is getting older. And she had just posted a picture with her niece. I think she's her niece, Emma Roberts.
oh yeah,
And someone just kept commenting that, you are looking old, and would, like, इंग्लिश में ही कर रहे थे उनके फैंस. तो किसी ने तो ऐसा कुछ कमेंट किया था. तो she said that me being a 51 or 50 whatever year old, having achieved so many things in my life, having it all together, still that comment somewhere affected me. So she was telling that I just feel sad for a 15-year-old in today's generation, that if it can affect to somebody like me who is 50, who has done it all, who has done such big hits, such big movies, then of course a 15-year-old who still hasn't seen life or built that confidence for herself, for her to receive such a comment from someone on social media in today's time can be so heartbreaking.
yeah, like I can't imagine what it does to
Somebody.
Yeah, people love commenting buddhi, ye,
Exactly.
wo, on all actresses ka Instagram I've seen, that we have grown up watching. Ab they will call them all types of names, as if that is not your future. As if you are drinking some serum in your house and you are not going to end up like
elixir.
this. Like, this is normal human process, evolution of aging. Like, there's no escaping it.
Yeah.
But if it's going to make your morning better by calling somebody that, then theek hai, it's fine.
Yeah.
Nothing can be done about it. Any other concluding thoughts?
I think we've covered it all for today.
Yeah, I think we've discussed a lot in this
of things,
episode.
yeah.
We would
I think the
love to
pros
know.
outweigh the cons.
Way
Like,
more.
it's a very big difference in female friendships, at least. And I, for one, am very grateful
yeah.
for all the female long-term friendships that I have had.
Same.
And for a fact, one thing I value with us is that I know that even if I don't have any friends in life, kabhi bhi, I have 3 people.
Yeah.
We are friends.
Yeah, that's more
Can
than
count
someone
on.
else has.
Else
And
has.
Yes.
I'm grateful for that, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go and hug your female friend.
On this note.
And we will see you in the next one. Bye.